Will everybody in the audience please run the tip of his tongue over his teeth? Just to get into the spirit of the story, please. That's right. Thank you. Just like that. And what do you find? Anything wrong? That's what I thought. Well, now that we've taken inventory of our own teeth, let's go on with the story.
I think there's two types of people in life. Those that look at eyes first, and those that look at teeth. I'm definitely a teeth guy. I definitely look at teeth first. And I think that's good. I think you should, because I think they're more important. And for me, they've really impacted my life for as long as I can remember.
People probably don't realize, living daily lives, is that actually inside your teeth is a record of your childhood. Because if you actually cut your permanent teeth, the teeth we use as adults, inside are growth rings, similar to tree rings, but they're very microscopic. And this gives us a detailed record of how each tooth was formed. Well, it's never as precise as we'd like it to be, but the research has shown that if a child is very sick or severe stress, so emotional stress, for example, the part of the enamel forming at that moment in time will differ slightly. And for example, if I removed your teeth, I can give you a sense of you probably were sick for 1 or 2 weeks when you were 2.5, and then 3 weeks later you had another bout of illness. I can't tell you exactly what illness it was, but I can tell you that it affected the whole of your body, including the cells which are forming that part of the tooth in that moment in time. So, unbeknown to all of us, we have this unique record inside our mouth allowing us to map what happened to this person as a child.
I had a lot of problems as a kid, psychologically, and I was very shy and nervous. And I had this fear of eating. The thought of eating in front of people, I think, just terrified me. I just couldn't make my mouth work, or I don't know, it was weird. I just couldn't chew.
Because you had this problem eating school lunches, Mrs. Macpherson said, well, bring your own school lunch. And then she got really cross with you. Your mother has packed this lunch specially for you. She's only put in things that she knows you like. So that made it even worse for you, really, because you still couldn't sit there and eat it. I remember her saying that to me. Yeah.
I suppose I was just really looking forward to my adult teeth coming through, but when they did, they just didn't stop. My incisors were just bulging out of my mouth and my canines were just forcing against everything, just creating this mess, this jumbled jigsaw of colliding enamel that just, it was just awful.
In the NHS in Scotland, we use the index of orthodontic treatment need as a means of deciding who will benefit from treatment. And you're what I would call a shoe-in for funding. We've got quite severe crowding here. There's a lot of crossing over, a real shortage of space for these teeth. And I would say we're probably going to have to take some teeth out here if we're going to get these teeth straightened, because if we don't, we're just going to push them out with the bone. In the upper jaw, that's when we get interesting. This left incisor is very prominent, and that's probably going to be out with the lip control. Teenage boys are robust, and that one's very much at risk of getting bashed in doing what you're doing. You're a fairly complicated case. There's a lot of vertical movements, twisting, rotations, inclinations and angulations all needing to be corrected. So this is how I like to spend my day, doing worthwhile treatment where the patient is going to have a very worthwhile improvement and a good outcome.
Oh, Oh, God, that was awful. I thought we were just taking you there to get fitted up with just a wire brace. But then he took all sorts of plaster cast and then decided you should wear this kind of gum shield thing. You know, it was like a footballer's protection thing. It was awful. Great big enormous thing. It seemed to fill your whole mouth. And he put it on, and I remember we came home with it, and I could have cried all the way home. I just thought, I don't know why he's doing this. Why would the dentist decide to do this? I'd never seen or heard of him doing it to any other child. I'm sure he wouldn't have done it to his own children. In fact, I think that's it. I said that to him. In fact, I know I did now I think about it. I went back to him afterwards or phoned him up and said, I'm sorry, we're not going to use this. I'm sure you wouldn't make your own children wear one of these. So I think we decided perhaps you'd wear it in bed at night. So you probably did for about 2 nights, and then we thought, no, the hell with this. Rather have crooked teeth than you having to suffer that business. It was just awful. You must remember it.
I couldn't do anything. I couldn't eat. I could barely drink water. I couldn't talk. The thought of going into school and just dribbling and slevering and not being able to talk in front of everyone was just a fate worse than any kind of torture. And that was the end of it. That was the end of braces and dentistry and anything to do with teeth for a good long time for me anyway.
There's so much variation across the world, even the modern world, in the significance of teeth. One of the things you discover by looking at individuals from the distant past is that they were suffering from exactly the same problems we are today.
We tend to be drawn to the aesthetic and the attractive, and I think in the cultural context of today, we are bombarded constantly by images of perfection, images of perfect colours, perfect alignments, and patients are wanting to achieve that, and they're not wanting to have any negative connotations and negative assumptions about themselves because of their dental appearance. I remember being unkindly referred to by a colleague who was working in oral medicine. You're an orthodontist, the hairdressers of dentistry. And I'd like to think that we're much more than that. You know, we're adding health and we're adding function as well as adding aesthetics.
People look at you before they know anything about you. And crooked teeth wasn't normal. It was something that was different. It was one thing I could change that would improve my first impression, that would help give me some more confidence, that would, you know, just be normal. And everything's changed so much anyway from when I was a kid. I mean, it's like everything's different now. Technology, science, everything's moved forward so much that it can't be that bad. It was just like I had literally been punched repeatedly in the face. Just swelling and blood and just aching. This constant aching. It just made me feel absolutely sick. It was absolutely vicious. And then my teeth started clicking over one another. I would feel my teeth clicking and clunking and jarring and scraping against each other as they moved just that little bit more. I think it is vanity. It's about appearance. It's about the way that you look. They're kind of straight. They look normal. They're good teeth. They are. I mean, they are good teeth. But they're still just teeth. And it's everything else now. Look at the nose. Look at the hair. It's only teeth.
If you brush your teeth, you'll always find you'll have all your teeth to chew and grind. You gotta brush your choppers all around. not side to side, but up and down. Brush 'em up and brush 'em down. Keep your choppers clean and sound. Help your teeth to stay around until you're old and gray. Oh, brush 'em up and brush 'em down. Keep your choppers clean and sound. Help your teeth to stay